Rachel Service here, the CEO of Happiness Concierge and the author of There Has to Be More, the Essential Guide to Personal Growth. I am so grateful and excited that you made the time to listen and or watch this video as we talk about finding your zone. Educator and adventurer Tom Zeniger posted the following theory. We have 3 zones. Zone 1, our comfort zone. What is autopilot? What is comfortable? Doing what we do every day. We're happy, we're glowing, we're shining. And the idea that we're kind of comfortable, right? Zone 2, if you imagine 3 circles, a small circle is the comfort zone. The middle circle is the next zone, which is the learning zone. And it's in this zone where we kind of feel at the edge of our competence. We're learning, we're growing, we're shining, we're expanding, we're going to the next level. We're becoming more of ourselves, and in some cases or instances, most ourselves. And in this learning zone is where we thrive, right? In numerous studies around what motivates employees, it's found that the idea of making progress and what experts call the progress principle helps us keep motivated, the idea of growing and learning. And that's what the learning zone is all about. Now, if you imagine you've got your comfort zone and then in a bigger circle, the learning zone, imagine one circle outside that where Tom post-its, it's the panic zone. And in this zone, that's where we're in our flight. We're in our freeze or flight mode, right? Or as some people might say, float mode. And in this zone, we don't feel like our best selves. We've stretched too far out of our learning zone and we've stretched into panic zone. So an example might be that we said yes to a work assignment and then we think we're completely out of our depth. Or we might have a really busy schedule and there's just no way we can get it all done. And a few fun facts about the panic and the comfort zones. When we're in our comfort zone, sometimes we feel pretty good and pretty cozy. What the comfort zone and the panic zone share is levels or risks of incompetence. That's right. When we're in our panic zone, we can drop the ball. And when we're in our learning zone, we become so relaxed that we sometimes forget to do basic things, right? Or things that are good for us. Now, it's in the learning zone that we grow. And so I want to invite you in this exercise, and I've got the book here on page 21 of the book. And if you're following along to the workbook, it's in the first section. How did I end up here? And we're going to talk about, when is the comfort zone good? When is it time to step or shine in our learning zone? And when we're in our panic zone, how can we just take a moment and focus on what we can control to bring us back to reality, back to our happy zone and into the learning? And a fun fact, it's no secret that for me, often my comfort zone has been my panic zone. Sometimes feelings of stress or adrenaline or being busy can be kind of addictive. The dopamine can be released and that can feel kind of exciting, and you can kind of feel a bit addicted to that when we have that adrenaline rush. But the truth is, when we live in our panic zone, not only is it stressful to our body, it's also not sustainable, which is why in my example, I've burnt myself out numerous times because being in the panic zone kind of felt good. It felt like being on a high, but ultimately it didn't serve me. Well, you know how the story ends, right? It wasn't so sustainable. So let's take a look at how you can go from your comfort zone, if that's how you feel, and move into your learning zone. And or if you're in your panic zone, which many people are when they come to me to talk about how do I get more out of my life, or less in some instances, how can I move into my learning zone? All right. So the first question here is, and I'm looking to the book here, what observations do you make about your relationship with your own comfort, learning, and panic zones? So have a think about the example I shared just earlier. When you're in your comfort zone, how do you feel? For some people, we feel pretty good. For others, and certainly this is true for many people who come to me, in the comfort zone can feel kind of bored, kind of like, really? Is this all there is? And the comfort zone can feel for others like, oh, it's like breathing. I know that when I'm spending time with you and when I was recording my audio book, the audio version of this book. And whenever I'm public speaking, it feels like breathing to me. It's totally my comfort zone. And so I'm really comfortable with anything kind of coming in and out of that zone. Now, when I move into my learning zone, I feel it. I'm feeling like I know this is good for me. Ooh, I'm expanding. This is good. I get goosebumps and in some cases adrenaline, you know what I mean? And then in our panic zone, often like I've said yes to too much and I'm trying to do too much. And I just think like, if anyone asks how I am, I just scream like, I've got very real examples of that. So the question I'd like you to reflect on as you listen or watch this video is, what observations do you make with your relationship to the comfort zone, your relationship to your learning zone, and your relationship to your panic zone? So on your workbook, you'll have some lines to write that down if you'd like to. Alternatively, you might like to simply reflect and imagine 3 columns. Comfort zone, what my relationship is like and what that feels like. Learning zone, what my relationship like is and what that feels like. And panic zone, what my relationship is like and what that feels like. At Happiness Concierge, we often lean on a tool called the traffic light framework, which follows the same colors. So if you're more of a visual learner, you might prefer to think about comfort zone, green, learning zone, yellow, and panic zone, red. Yeah. Just have a think about, what is my relationship like? Food for thought, isn't it? I want to invite you to the second inquiry after that, which is, and I love this, which areas of your comfort zone energize you? What energizes you? And these are all clues that you'll use later when it comes to auditing your life later in the book. What areas of your comfort zone energize you? So examples might be hanging out with friends, hanging out with family or chosen family. Examples might be if you're my spouse, making food, being in the kitchen, being creative with food. If you're me, public speaking and writing, that's my happy place. That's my happy place. What are examples of areas of your comfort zone that, really important here, energize you? So an example might be me at the gym. I feel good in the gym. I feel comfortable at a gym. And afterwards, I feel awesome. Like, you never work out and think, dang, I wish I didn't do that, right? Unless you've injured yourself, and I pray that you don't. But which areas of your comfort zone energize you? And conversely, which areas of your comfort zone are comfortable but deplete you? Often when people come to me, they're in a job which they don't dislike, but they have found themselves feeling stagnant in that they don't feel like they're progressing. For any people leaders watching this, the feeling of progression can be as simple as taking on more either responsibility or not that that's simple, as expansive as taking on more responsibility, or simple as slowly making progression on a project and feeling like you're making a dent in a project and you're taking progress forward, right? So think about what areas of your comfort zone energize you, and I'm looking to page 21 of the pink book here, and which areas of your comfort zone deplete you. So examples of depletion, as I've mentioned, might be certain jobs, certain tasks, or it might be like I'm comfortable with a certain group of people, but I'm exhausted afterwards. If you're an introvert who gets energy by time alone, that might be an example. As an introvert myself, believe it or not, I love spending time alone, and what happens when I spend too much time alone? Then that becomes de-energizing. So it's a tricky balancing act, right? Yeah, so think about what energizes you and then what de-energizes you. I'm turning on the page here to look at page 22 of the pink book, and you'll be in your workbook, which will be question number 4. What areas of your life do you think help you stay in your comfort zone? So an example might be, let's say I stay in my comfort zone and socialize with people in my proximity because it's easy. Or it might be I'm not feeling stretched in my job, but I get a salary every month, so that helps me keep in my comfort zone, right? Or maybe, let's see, comfort zone would be, I don't know, for me, wearing the same thing every day, a power suit, right? When I'm at work, that is. And it feels easy because I don't need to make a decision, right? They're all examples of what areas of your life help you stay in your comfort zone. And sometimes it's around avoiding fear and pain, of course it is, and seeking certainty and clarity. But often it's around, when you stay in your comfort zone, it's around habit and things I don't need to think about, like getting to work if I have a job, or wearing the same outfit every day. It reduces the overall cognitive load. So here's a question for you here on page 22 of the Pink Book. When was the last time that you were in your learning zone? When was the last time you were in your learning zone? When did you last feel mentally expanded or stretched? When was the last time you heard something where you thought, that's given me food for thought, or cause to pause? When was the last time you had a conversation and you thought, that was energizing, I'm learning, and my mind is really, it feels like I'm growing? And when was the last time you did a task, maybe at work or at home, which was you're thinking, I'm so glad I did that, or I learned something new? When was the last time you did an errand where you thought, that was kind of cool, that was kind of new, and I'm learning there? Maybe if you, like me, have spent a bit of time at home recently here in Melbourne, Australia, with current restrictions, you might have done something at home, or installed a new artwork on your wall, or bought some new flowers, which is that way. You're learning something new. When was the time you're in your learning zone? And what did you observe about yourself? Last question here on page 22, as you reflected on the zones. That's the big question here. Reflection is all about clues and cues for getting to know ourselves, because growth comprises self-reflection, getting to know ourselves. We can't drive a car unless we have the keys and know how to use it, right? And then that's coupled with self-discipline. And you're taking huge steps towards self-discipline purely by making the time to listen or watch this video. Food for thought here. Have a think about how you show up in your zone, and there's no right or wrong. My sole goal here is to bring your awareness to understanding why you might feel the way you do, because you're watching or listening to this video for a reason, right? And how you can maybe seek to lower the amount of times you're in your panic zone, if that's how you feel, or increase the amount of time that you're in your learning zone, if that is how you would like to feel. Because fun fact, learning is how we grow. When we move from our comfort zone, we can grow, and we can only do that by lowering the amount of time that we're in our panic zone. Good luck, have fun, and as always, if you have any questions, don't be shy. Reach out to me and or my team of happiness concierges at hello@happinessconcierge.com. Thanks for watching, and have fun.